So today I'm going to do a book recommendation. The book is called The Coming Wave and it's by Mustafa Suleyman, who's the co-founder of DeepMind and Inflection AI. Two of these two companies have invested and done a lot of research in AI. The reason I'm recommending this book is because firstly it's coming from an insider who has a lot of inside knowledge about this industry. And secondly, it explains in detail how this wave is going to come and why it's inevitable. So the book has 4 parts and 14 chapters. The first chapter is about how containment is not possible. This basically means that the AI technology is growing at a speed and at a level that it's not possible to contain it. Chapter 2 talks about endless proliferation. This is continuing the same theme about how the nature of this technology is going to lead to more and more proliferation, and this will be really hard to contain. And then chapter 3 talks about the containment problem. This discusses how even if there's laws and regulations made, it's not going to be possible to completely contain AI as a technology. It's going to continue to grow, especially as there's more and more open source models available. The next part talks about the next wave in detail. This is basically going into detail about the technology itself. Chapter 4 talks about the technology of intelligence. This discusses AI and how it's expanding rapidly and overtaking human intelligence, and eventually it could become super intelligent. Then chapter 5 talks about the technology of life. This basically discusses the advancements in biology and how more and more advanced medicine and biological engineering is happening. Then chapter 6 discusses the wider wave. This talks about the more general purpose technologies and how one technology can lead to the advancements of several other technologies and how it's all interconnected. Then the author discusses the 4 features of the coming wave. And finally, he talks about unstoppable incentives. This talks about how there's going to be basically a race to advance faster and faster due to economic and also many other benefits for everyone involved. After discussing the positives and the benefits of AI, in part 3, the author talks about how these technologies could have a negative impact and it could cause lots of failures for states and other institutions. So in chapter 9, he talks about the grand bargain, which in this he goes into detail about how states could be threatened by the coming wave, and due to increasing power of AI, many nation states could face collapse. And then in chapter 10, he talks about the cyber weapons and hackers and how we've had examples in the past of people using these tools to their advantage, and sometimes the states themselves can deploy these for their own interest. And with AI, everything is just going to get amplified, and this poses a risk to individuals and states both. And in chapter 11, the author talks about the future of nations as a result of all this, and he talks about how there could be many different types of states. Some could become more authoritarian by using AI for their own advantage against their citizens, and then others could become very decentralized, where everyone has their own sort of AI for their own use. And you could have a mix of these, and basically there will be contradictory societies. And finally, in chapter 12, he talks about the dilemma. Here he discusses how all this poses a dilemma as to what this government should do in order to control this technology as a result of its consequences. So, in the final part of the book, the author basically discusses how containment must be possible. In chapter 13, he says that while it's not possible to completely control AI, there has to be a way to make it align with our goals and to make it safe for everyone. And then in chapter 14, he goes into detail about 10 steps that could be taken for containment. So, in conclusion, I would recommend everyone to read this book if they want an idea of where we're headed and an insider view of someone who gives details and examples that show how fast this field is expanding. If you like this video, please subscribe. I'm going to be posting more about AI, and if I find any other books like this, I'm going to share that too.